All right, everyone, welcome back to the last very session that we're going to have here. And I saved the best person to last here at Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, North Carolina. It's my good friend, Jessica Hyde. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thanks so much for having me, Kevin, and thanks so much for sharing everything with the community.
Oh, always. Absolutely. I'm a big believer in that. And thanks for coming on. You took some time out of the busy conference here because you're here. And yet you have a booth this year. Is this your
Yeah,
first
this
year
is
at the
our first year, like
conference?
having. Well, it's not my first year at Techno,
Oh,
as
right.
you know. I've spoken here many a time, been here many a time. But my company actually had a whole booth here,
That's
and it's
exciting.
been so great to meet with people, bring some of our team out here to be able to meet with our
Right?
customers, and it's just been fantastic.
For your stuff. It's
for
yours.
for
That's
Hex for
what's exciting.
Hexordia, and yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's an entrepreneur thing. I'm sorry.
it's huge.
You
It's
see
huge.
that
It's
baby,
huge.
that concept idea you had, and now here you are.
Yeah, like I
You're
feel
here.
like I'm playing a big girl game now.
You absolutely are. So tell us a little bit about the company that you have,
Yeah,
because a lot of people may not be aware since this is your first booth out, and
sure.
we're getting people aware. And my job is to bring awareness. So tell me.
I appreciate it. So we're doing things mostly in mobile forensics in four areas. So we do training, services,
Hmm.
we do government contracting, and we also do casework, right? So services, training, we do some research. So we're very, very busy all the time. We've got 9 folks now, which is
Wow,
incredible.
that is huge.
So right now, we've got cases going on. We're doing trainings. We're building new content. We're releasing content that's both on demand and virtual lives. We've
Nice.
got some private trainings that we're doing with organizations where we come out and do a whole week of our
Uh huh.
mobile forensic analysis course and just having a great time doing the things we love. We've got some new research that's being launched at Black Hat
That's
that we're
great.
super stoked about. So yeah,
Thanks. I'm going to have you
I'm gonna
scoot
scooch
towards me
closer.
a little bit.
Oh,
I won't
okay.
bite. There we go. I promise. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. So tell me a little bit about your trainings. What kinds of courses do you have? What's the topics you do?
Yeah, so we're really deep delving across all of the analysis spectrum
Mm-hmm.
of mobile forensics. And so we're doing it in a couple different ways. We have these bite sized, BYTE
Love
size
it.
courses
Love it.
that are really focused around each individual topic. So let's say you have a case come up
Mm-hmm.
and you really need to deep dive PLIS. And you
Right.
haven't really been spending much time in PLIS. You've been working a lot of Android, a lot of Windows. Now you've got this Mac class or you've got this iOS class case, and you really need to get into a PLIS. We've got a short, dirty, deep dive into PLIS, all open source tooling and everything we do because we're teaching you methodology, not tools. You should be able to apply all of this in your commercial tools, or we're giving you techniques to do it completely open source, free, the way you can do it.
That's
So
awesome.
we've got bite size, we've got full weeks that you can do live training, virtual or in person. So we're trying to be accessible. And
And that's important in today's world. It's like you just never know anymore because well, everything's COVID. You have to have that adaptation to people, to individual preferences of how they want to consume the content. Right.
And we're trying to be accessible to people who aren't the typical users of training. So
Mm.
something that I've seen a lot out of COVID through the mentorship that I do with folks in the community and a lot of new people is a lot of career switchers.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who actually I have an employee, she interned for me and now she works for me full time, was a career switcher out of healthcare.
Yeah.
20 years in the healthcare industry, working in pain management centers, etc. And now, so dealing with people on their worst days, the
Yeah.
soft skills that we can't train. Now's been working on her degree through Champlain, specifically in digital forensics, adding that formal education. That's how she wound up interning for me. But career switchers having the accessibility of small bite-sized content that they can do
Mm-hmm.
when they've got a full-time job,
Sure.
they've got a family, maybe there's 2 full-time jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people who want to access also law enforcement organizations that don't have the time. It's not even just budget constraints,
Right.
it's time. Time is a resource we can't make more of. I can't write a grant for time.
Right.
If I could
Absolutely.
write a grant for time, I would.
You would have my business in a heartbeat. I would say, please write me a grant for time.
Right? So we're trying to make it digestible, accessible. Everything's multimodal. Everything's
Mm-hmm.
hands-on labs, plus written content, plus video content, so that you're working through different modes because different people learn different ways.
Right.
You know, if there's something I've learned teaching at George Mason for the last 7 years, it's that. So we're really trying to bring that accessibility to mobile forensics. And our partners at Cyber5W, we share a platform with them, so they're able to provide the other side of the house. So if people are looking for computer forensics, malware,
Right.
Linux, etc., the stuff I don't do, the stuff I do well, we're going to do. We're building an IoT course, so maybe you'll see that from us next year.
Really?
We're building some really cool
Can you
stuff.
talk a little bit about it without giving away too much of the
wow.
surprise on the
Wow.
IoT side of the house? Because that's something that I hear a lot about. Now, granted, I don't do exams anymore, haven't. I'd be lucky to get through one, but I hear people always asking questions about, hey, how do we do this? What are some of the challenges?
So it's really interesting because the reason we're building this is because an organization came to us knowing that we've done a lot of research in that area and said, hey, can we see you're doing these courses? Can you come build a private course for us for IoT? And we said, abso-freaking-lutely, right? So we've already are in the process of getting ready to deliver that live, hands-on, in-person content. And so the challenge after that is try how to convert that into good virtual content.
Sure.
We can definitely do the images, the posts, but also talking about a lot of the methodology. So we're trying to figure that piece out, and I think that's why that'll be something you'll see in 2024 from us. But 2023, you're going to see some interesting iOS stuff from us. Anybody who's been on our website, we've released a free tool. Like, we try to share a lot of blogs and free resources. Several of our intro courses are free. But we built both a sysdiagnose tool. A great member of our team, Nick Dubois, has really been focused on sysdiagnose and syslogs. And we might have figured out how to find data in syslogs on locked iOS devices, regardless of if they're supported by your other tools. And so not sysdiagnose logs, but live monitoring of the syslogs, which we started doing for testing and understanding artifacts and seeing what was changing in real time. But then we realized that we could do it on locked devices, and then we realized, oh crap, we can get data that actually is relevant to cases when not. So that's the data that we're going when we can't get access. That's what we it's accepted at Black Hat. So we can't say much until August. You can't pre-release any content.
Oh,
for
right.
Black Hat.
No, makes sense.
But mid-August, look out for some blogs and some information and some resources to help with that for the community. We're doing that for the community, and we're super excited because we built it to meet our own testing needs for the training we were building, and found some unique ways to hopefully interpret and understand and get some additional relevant live monitored tooling out there. So people can go out and download right now the syslog monitor or the...
And that's on your website?
And it's on our website,
What's your website?
Exordia.com, Hexordia. And if you go there, download it. It's on the downloads page under resources. There's actually some cool other stuff there, something I gave a talk on today, if you don't mind me telling about that.
No, please do.
Ricky Johnson out of Richland County Sheriff's Department reached out to me in the early fall and said, hey, Jess, do you know the peer review checklist for mobile forensics? And I said, no, let's build one. And so we created a checklist. That's a resource available on our downloads. It has been peer reviewed, of course.
Oh, nice.
And we've had 1,800 downloads of that checklist. Agencies are using this to ensure they're increasing the quality of their exams and leveling up their examiners, right, through the peer review process. And Ricky and I did a talk about that today, and that's out there. So that's on our website in that downloads section as well. Also, like every open source tool that we teach in our class, everything from ALEAP and iLeap and Autopsy to SQLite, which is a really cool forensic SQLite browser that's not going to change your data, like if you're using just a SQLite browser tool.
Love that tool.
Holds the wall. It's fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
But we have walkthroughs on how to use all those tools so that people can get the tools spun up before they come to class. And we do those just like we do everything else. There's a walkthrough guide, or you can watch the video. So whatever works. We're trying to, that's free. That content's out there. If you go to our YouTube page, we have a whole tools playlist that you can look at if video works better for you. Of course, we also have some explainers about our two free tools that we have out there too.
Sure, I'll drop a couple
Sorry.
links below in the description of the video once this goes into post after replay mode. Yeah, that's the best way to say
So
it.
fancy.
Into replay mode, I'll put the links down there to your website and to your downloads page, so people can go quick get information.
Yeah, go get that peer review checklist.
Get those things. Yeah, absolutely. So, how was the show for you? Now, you've been at Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
For how many years have you been going to the Myrtle Beach show? Couple. We'll just say it's more than 2.
It's more than 10.
What do you think of I've asked everybody that's come on, and what do you think of the differences in venue?
All right, I'm going to be 100% honest. I was really nervous about the show. I was really nervous that I wasn't going to have the same kind of connection. You know, for me, every year, having come to the show for so many years, you know, back when I was working in the lab, you know, I used to come to the show because this is where you found out everything that was being released by all the vendors, what new tools and gadgets, what new capabilities there were, right? And so I used to come here for that every year. And then you know, I got a little bit of inch to start like sharing knowledge, not just consuming knowledge, and sharing back and giving back to the community. Anyone listening, start giving back to the community. You can. You know stuff. And so then, you know, I started coming regularly as speaker. Then obviously I worked for Magnet for a while, so I was here under that auspice. And now here. So I've seen this show from a lot of different perspectives, right? And I was really nervous that there wasn't going to be the same vibe and intensity where it felt like a homecoming. Because every year I know there are people who I'm going to see who this is where I see them every year, and this is the time we connect. And I love that. There are certain people who I can't wait to see them here because I know they're always here. And that here is techno security. That here isn't a geolocation, right?
Right.
And I was kind of nervous. Are people really going to come to Wilmington? Were people really only coming for the beach, or were they coming for the content?
Right.
And now we know people were coming for the content. And to be honest, I'll tell you something. There's a little less distraction here, which I feel like it meant that we've been able to connect better. You know, the venue in Myrtle Beach was beautiful. It was fantastic. It was fun. But this has been fantastic. There's a lot of walkable restaurants.
Oh my
so
gosh,
people can go and really explore. If there's a beautiful river walk, so to get your morning walk or your morning run, I
can see it right there.
Yeah, I used to love, one of the things I used to love about Myrtle was every single morning I got up and walked the beach. And it was something really, really special. I'm an early riser, y'all. Before 5 a.m. every day, I beat my alarm.
Holy moly.
It's just the way I work. But so I used to love doing my sunrise walk. Guess what? You got that same opportunity here on the river walk. And so, no, it's not the same, and I honestly think that there's more people here than there has been.
There is. I had Jennifer on earlier today, and she said it was the most registrations, that over 1,000 that the event had ever seen.
Yeah,
so,
I feel like we were in the 800s
highs.
right before, just from my feel in the 800s before. And that's what I feel like. I feel like everything was full. The classes were full, but the rooms as a speaker, because I'll give you from a couple different perspectives. As a speaker, I thought it was great because the rooms were more appropriately sized. They were a little bit bigger, so we were able to have more people in our talks. The venue at the other place, the rooms were actually smaller. So it was great because more people weren't getting shut out of talks because they were overfilled, even though there were more people. So I felt like the spacing was a little more appropriate. Even when there was overspill, they were able to open the doors and have a little bit of overspill. So the venue was great. The tech worked well. No issues like that, which, you know, you never know if there's going to be. But the vendor hall was really, really good, smooth, easy both as a vendor and an attendee to talk to people, meet people. And I was also kind of concerned about everything's in different hotels.
I know. That was mine too.
It actually, I think, was better because I started thinking back to Myrtle Beach, and Myrtle Beach would sell out the actual venue hotel.
Yes.
But there were no other hotels in walking distance. Now we're all in walking distance. So I found us going back and forth, going to different rooftop.
Yeah.
All the hotels have rooftop bars.
They do.
So in the evening, we're all going back and forth to the top floor of the different rooftop bars, mingling. And I just think the vibe has been freaking fun and awesome. And I said freaking, don't worry, you didn't have to hit the mute button on me.
No, that's all right. Hey, we're allowed so many. YouTube won't
I didn't say a bad word. It's like I'd take the Marine out of the girl,
Yeah.
not the girl out of the Marine. It's
Right.
really one or the other. But yeah, I think it's been a great venue. I was nervous. I did not think this exceeded my expectations, and I can't wait till next year.
I know. And I didn't notice any of the quirks that you when you experience, like when you go to a first year event, or not really the first year event, just new venue, that they're going to have some hiccups. I didn't even see any of the hiccups. The team here did such a phenomenal job.
You'd never know they
no,
hadn't been here before.
Right.
You would never know.
Right. In the hotels, again, I had that same concern that you had just talked about. But literally, even though they're separate, it's you walk out of one front door. There's a parking
There's a
lot
parking
that's
lot, you
kind of
just walk across,
centralized
yeah.
in the middle, and then there's one, and there's one, and that's it. It's
And the
that simple.
weather's been perfect. I know no one else can control that. I can't say what it's going to be next year, but the weather has been lovely, not too hot. And it's just been perfect to actually go outside and move between the buildings. Like I said, it's all rooftop bars. So I feel like we've mostly been outside when we're not in the venue. And I would say that's good too, because sometimes when you're at a conference that's in a hotel, you feel like you haven't left that building all week.
Oh.
And here, just moving between these different buildings and
Right.
going outside momentarily, going on the Riverwalk, etc. But
Mhm.
really, there's today's day 3, and I'm still running into people because there's 1,000 people here
Oh yeah.
who I am seeing for the first time today that I haven't seen the first 2 days, and it's just been nonstop and like just amazing reconnecting with people and talking with people and being able to share with people what we're doing now.
Yeah.
So I mean, this has been really great for us, and I'm just so. I love connecting with people and sharing what we're doing and hearing what everybody else is doing, and it's been an awesome week, and we've still got lectures tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
I know
Full
today's
day.
the last day that you're doing this, but
Full day. Yeah.
I'm excited because tomorrow I actually get to sit through content. Right, I'm done with my talks. The booths are closed, and now I actually get to focus on upping my game from an educational perspective.
And that's one thing I've missed. It's like now that I've come to the conferences, we have a booth here, and I don't get to go to the classes anymore. So I'm like, it's kind of a bummer, but I get to see everybody because literally they got us right outside of the showroom floors.
Yeah.
Everyone has to pass here, and so it's like the Gandalf. You may not pass, because we see you first. We're gonna say hi to you if I haven't seen you in a while.
I know.
And
you were one of
so
the first
great.
people I saw when I came here because you were setting up right here when I was
Can't
going
miss
in to
us.
set up,
Yeah.
and you can't miss Kevin. So
It's my wife's actually doing all the heavy lifting over there. She's
yeah, I've noticed the
Drinking away on
cruelty that your wife is currently packing up everything and doing
know.
all the work, and you're like, I'm just chilling here talking.
yeah. I mean that's really all I'm good for the most part anymore. It's just talking. So she does all the smart stuff anymore. So
That's awesome.
She takes care of it.
Nicole rocks.
Keeps me in order anyway. That's for sure. So hey, thank you very much for popping on. I'd like to have you on longer, and I know we talked about this last year at Techno to have you on a longer episode.
Let's do it.
And then things got busy because you started rocketing your business up, but so I'm going to ask again, and this was my fault. I didn't reach back out.
100%. Let's get some time on the calendar.
Yeah.
Let's share some stuff. There's so much we weren't talking about that we're doing. We're doing so much, and I'd love to spend the time and talk about all kinds of things.
It'll be
great.
Fun. All right.
Not even just what we're doing, but what's going on, right?
Exactly. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
you.
And thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, we saved the best one for last. I told you we were going to do that. We're in Wilmington, North Carolina. Techno Security. It is going on one more day. Technosecurity.us. So, on your website again is
Exordia.com.
That's right. It's HEXORIDIA.
HEXORDIA.
There you go. See, I'm looking at your name tag, so I didn't mess it up. All right, guys. Thanks so much, and we will see you next year. Take care. Thanks again, Jessica.
Thank you.